started raining, so I found this little cave. Not really a cave, just a spot under a rock. I'm not going to get wet. And I thought, what a perfect time to talk about something really interesting. You know, if you just want to get entertained, something funny, just keep on scrolling, because this is not that side of myself. I've got a few different archetypes within myself, and one of them is someone who is not afraid of getting deep and dirty into ontology, I guess. Ontology is the study of metaphysical existence, or just simply the study of being. So I just got a text message, which distracted me. So, I want to talk about things like Prometheus, Lucifer, how that correlates to Sumerian stories, and at the depth of it, it is not following blindly because someone said, Bob's a weirdo, he's not all there, you know, oh, stay away from him. Yet you find out Bob is the most intelligent, compassionate, loving person within the whole group. And if you had have taken everyone's opinion as your own, you would have just gone, oh, nah, yeah, I can see he looks a bit strange. Oh, yeah, I'll just be part of the ridicule as well. Just join in, you know. Fucking shits me, people that just join in on ridicule when they don't know someone, you know, on the construction site, you know, they just like, to fit in, you have to become that, like, you know, who are we aiming our fucking shit at? Let's get Daz. You know, I used to be a bit weak with that, you know, I kind of hardened up becoming a scaffolder and just other jobs that I've had where realised Australian men can be fucking dicks. And their form of showing love is to put you down. But anyway, I digress. Getting back to, this is the story about not believing what they say about Satan, what they say about Lucifer. Now, what I'm going to present to you is from the research that I've done. I'm not going to say I buy into everything that I'm saying. I'm just presenting you stories of things that I've looked into, and because I find so fascinating. So let's unpack the story of Lucifer. Morning star, the bringer of the dawn, is that space between when the sun comes up and the night. There's that gap there. Don't really know what that means. Is that I find it a really cool time to be awake before the sun comes up. It's eerie. It's like it's profound. It invokes depth in your emotion. I guess I could say. So let's say that Lucifer is actually Prometheus. And Prometheus was the light bringer as well. He was the fire bringer. He stole the fire of knowledge and technology from Zeus and gave it to humanity. So, and we can see correlations and tie-ins with the Sumerian stories of Enki and Enlil. So Enki sounds like a good guy. He sounds like Prometheus. He was the creator of humanity. He was the father of humanity. So when Zeus, also known as Enlil in Sumeria, he was like, or also known as Yahweh in the Old Testament, he was like, humans too loud, nah, they're stupid, they're abomination, you know, because you guys shouldn't be going down there and having sex with them. Yeah, okay, they're beautiful. But now what have you done? You don't want to create them too intelligent, because they don't know what to do with their intelligence. They'll just fuck everything up. So let's just send in a flood. We're going to kill them. And Enki, Prometheus, was like, but I'm their father. So, and then this was probably the first lie ever told, perhaps. And this is how Prometheus got known as the trickster. Later on, Lucifer and Satan. Satan is a trickster. Yet whose story are you going to believe? That's the thing. Like, so Prometheus told his son Deucalion, sounds very like the story of Noah, that the flood was coming, so you are to construct an ark a vessel where you can take all this fucking opposites, what am I saying, female and male of all these different species and whatnot, and let them survive this catastrophe. So Prometheus had to lie to Zeus. Zeus is also known as, did I say that, as Enlil. Let's just use Greek terminology for now. We'll get away from Sumerian. So Prometheus told his son Deucalion. Deucalion was like the Noah figure. He saved humanity, all because of Prometheus had prior knowledge and the ability to have foresights. And he's like, "How I know how I can fix this. I can remedy. I don't want to lose humanity. They're my children." So he lied to Zeus. He was deceptive to Zeus, but he kind of had to be, because Zeus would have not had a bar of that. He wanted to kill humanity. And also, let's see if I can tie this in, like the Old Testament talks about the all-loving God, yet God wanted to destroy humanity, and then God showed up as, what was it, in the marsh or something like that? I don't know if he showed up as a snake in the marsh or something like that, to Noah and told Noah that he must build a boat, etc. Why would the same God that wanted to destroy humanity save humanity? That makes no sense. So Zeus was the dick. He sounds like a real wanker, and also he's probably Yahweh as well. And Yahweh says, "I am the one and only God. You must love me because there is nothing above me." Sounds a bit like a jealous wanker to me. So if you look into Zeus, he seems like a dick, and I think he's Yahweh. I think that's the same story. So where was I? So Prometheus was the trickster, but if it wasn't for him, humanity would have died. So he's actually a fucking legend. He's a G. And he was the one that wanted to raise humanity up, consciousness within knowledge, because you raise your consciousness by knowledge. Knowledge is power. That's why I'm on a quest of understanding everything, because I find knowledge is amazing. It can be a burden, but you just got to keep on pushing through the shit until things start to make sense and you start to see the truth between the lies. And the lies here lie in with Zeus being very manipulative. He didn't mind lying. So he was like, "Oh, damn it, they survived. Well, now I'm going to have to go and corrupt them because I don't want them waking up to make them realise that they're actually more powerful than me if they join forces together. So I've got to keep them all distracted. And oh yeah, that Prometheus, he's a snake. He's evil. He's liar. He's Lucifer. He's Satan. So and then that became the story that everyone told. And it's just like what I was saying before. Oh, Bob, you'll stay away from Bob. He's evil. But yet he is the most intelligent one in the whole group, and the most compassionate and good at heart, which was Prometheus. So everyone just started to believe in Zeus because he's manipulative. And Satan, yeah, stay away from Satan. He's evil. So I would just question, who is the bad guy? Who is the good guy? We inherently know what good and bad is because it's fucking obvious. If you know what lying and cheating and manipulating and all these things, they're evil. Genocide, although that's subjective, that's you'd have to unpack that further to see, like, is it genocide or is it calculated to save a species? I don't know. I'm not going to touch that with a 12-foot penis. I mean, what? Why do I say stupid shit? So, like, that's why I search deeper, because, like, maybe Satan, also Lucifer, is actually the good guy. And by buying into things like the Bible and stuff like that, it keeps us blindly following a lie, and maybe there's more knowledge of who we really are within that. And if you look deeper into I was going to make a point there, into Greek mythology, of something I've been looking into recently is, and I don't know if there's 100% fact to it, but it's interesting to search through the shit to find the good stuff. And it's talking about the lies of the Bible and how so many texts were added after death, like 300 years after death, around the Council of Nicaea. Things that just made us all like into believing something that is just not true. It's just like saying psychedelics, they ruin your brain, they will destroy you. Well, that's just like the fruit, the apple in the Garden of Eden, the Garden of Knowledge of Good and Evil. You know, I used to tell my family that I did mushrooms and stuff. I got in trouble for doing mushrooms. That's how they found out, and they were just so like, "Oh, it's so worried about you. Like, we've heard on the news that it destroys your mind and you'll end up fucked in the head." And whether I'm not fucked in the head, that's another question. Because taking the red pill can lead to some depression, for sure. But I'm glad I took the red pill. But where was I going? The concept of drug use in antiquity is seeming like there's a lot of evidence of drug use, of the prophets and the sayseers, I know shamans are just like prophets, right, in indigenous cultures, and quite often that's associated with drug use, because psychedelics can open the mind to what I see as a real place that exists around this time and space, and potentially we are just a reflection of the higher dimensions, that this place is not, it's not real or not real at the same time, because it exists. But if it's just a reflection of something up higher, it's not 100% the all, the everything. There's so much more on the other side. And if you start to do ayahuasca and stuff like that, you'll realise, you'll know what I'm talking about. Even if you smoke a cone of DMT and you talk to, what are they called, robotic fucking elves and some beings that are like, holy shit. And to get to those places, you don't need ayahuasca. I've done it with Vipassana, and I've also done it with what I felt was a near-death experience. But I mean, I don't want to over-dramatise it, but that's what I can relate it to when I was up at Gosakundai Lake, which was the lake actually made by Shiva, apparently, if you believe in that, with his trident. And because he needed to create an antidote to the poison, which also ties into another part of the story as well. Might as well go there. But anyway, I was 4.7 k's up and couldn't breathe much oxygen because it was so lack of. and I was like suffering from altitude sickness, and my brain felt like it was being squeezed or frying on a fry pan. That's what it felt like. I don't know if you ever felt that kind of feeling. Very strange, very strange. And because I was basically doing breath work all night, staring at the roof because I couldn't sleep, my brain was just pinging. I think the intense breath work took me to a place that was divine. I felt it's the same as ayahuasca. I went to the same kind of, it wasn't hallucinogenic, but it was just knowing. It was just this place of, I was within this light of warm light, this warm, loving, compassionate light. That's the only way I know how to explain it. And a voice of reason came through. It was, I wouldn't say it's the voice of God, but because it was whatever that is, the voice of God anyway, you know, if we've got the God inside, you know, it just felt like I was talking to myself, but a much, much more like higher version of myself that was all-knowing, the voice of reason. And I think this is the place that the prophets accessed. Do I condone drug use? I don't use that kind of substances anymore because I feel that it's just a glimpse into this other reality that exists, because I have, and I said before, you can access it by meditation and intense scenarios. So a drug can be like a peek into the other side, but then when you come back, it's hard to translate everything that you see and realizations that you had. It makes so much sense when you're under it, when you're in that realm, and you come back and like, oh, what was that? Oh, it's like, you know, when you wake up from a dream and it's like, oh yeah, I'll remember that. 5 minutes later, it's gone. It's gone. This is what that realm is like. It's so hard for us to fathom with our human limited brain function, because we haven't really practiced that part of our brain or mind, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, definitely. And my experience in Gospel Note Lake, I forgot. You know, I can't remember the voice of reason. It just put everything in my life into perspective, and it made so much sense, yet I can't remember it. So I think that's going to be my next mission, year 2026, is to go deep and to have a way where I can regain this information, whether or not I do a video after it, when I'm fresh out of that meditative state, or whatever you want to call it. I think that's the best way. I should have wrote it all down, but I didn't. I don't write stuff down. I trust in my memory, which is not that good. So I've got to do something about that. Anyway, so I was just about to end the video, but then I realised I didn't talk about the drug usage, and apparently there's not many people talking about this. This is a guy called Amon Hillman, which some people would say he's son of Satan. But believe what you want to. I will judge upon watching. I've probably about up to like 15 hours worth of content watching his talks, and he's a philologist, ancient Greek philologist. It's a hard word to say, isn't it? Study ancient Greek literature, which is really hard to do. They had a beautiful language that's so in depth with explaining things, and so connected to more of a magical realm that we lost that, unfortunately. I wish we could bring that back. But anyway, he's talking about drug usage in antiquities, and how the first Christ was Lady Babylon, or Medea, the whore of Babylon they call. And this is where it gets weird, because there is a lot of sexual, what seems like perversion, but it's probably only our just perception within our current era of it seeing like perversion and satanic or whatever. But they used to use, apparently, snake viper venom as the substance that took them to talking to their muse, talking to their voice of reason, to God within, or whatever you want to call it. And they got so close to death that it seems like all near-death experiences are the same kind of thing. If you look into near-death experiences, people come back and say, I saw these beings and I had voice of reason and everything is clear now. And so I guess that was probably a story back in the days, that someone nearly died and they were like, I spoke to God or whatever. So they're like, maybe we can like poison ourselves and get close to God. Like, have you seen OA? That's something interesting to look into. I won't talk too much about that. I won't talk anything about that, but look that up on Netflix. It's talking about near-death experiences and stuff, and it's a fictional story. It's fantastic. And they were like, oh, maybe we can get close to death and talk to this muse. I don't know how it came about, but they found the antidote, which is weird, in semen of young boys. Why? And it's apparently in the medical texts that talk about the antibodies in young children. You can put like certain, I guess, homeopathic doses of venom in them, and their body's like really powerful because it's working very efficiently because they're young, and their body machine is working quite effectively to be able to turn the antibodies into, I can't think of the right word, but to turn the venom and grow the right antibodies to fight against that. So that's in the text apparently, and that it's like, couldn't you have found another? Did you have to get sexual with it? And like, why was Jesus found in the park with a naked boy before he got crucified, saying, "I'm not a lace day," which is, "I'm not a pedo." I'm not saying it's 100% fact. You've got to do your own research, but it's just really interesting to be like, Medea was the first Christ who was using Christing, and this is a word derived from Creo, which is anointed. You can say it's anointed one, but it's also a form of anointment, and they use that terminology when putting drugs into the eyes. So Christing yourself is getting high, basically. So maybe the word Christ is just a drug term. That's an interesting concept. So Medea was she applied the same methods to becoming the Christ, and to becoming that union between something higher and humanity, and it's called the Christ. It's just because she got so messed up on drugs. I shouldn't say messed up. She got so, like, because drugs can be really powerful to commune with higher entities and higher forms of vibration, and then you become a prophet because you can actually see into the future. And shamans did this as well. It's the same kind of thing, as if it wouldn't be the same in the days of antiquity compared to things that revelations they realised within the indigenous, within ayahuasca practices, etc. Anyway, I don't know where to go with that, but I guarantee maybe one person watched it to the end, so thank you. And it's just something that I found intriguing, that I'm not putting all my faith into, because I don't put all my faith into anything. I'm a searcher, I'm a seeker, and the only way you're going to find it, you can't find it seeking, but only seekers find it. So you've got to go searching deep and deep and deep until you understand all this, and then just let it all go and just realise it doesn't all matter. But the only way to get there is just to seek first. I don't know. Anyway, love yous. Peace.